Okay, so as I said, today's webinar, CoolCare webinar, is on staffing widgets, and we'll be concentrating on two particular ones. So as you can see here, we're getting the best from staffing widgets on your dashboard. That's what this is about. CoolCare is here to make operating your care home easier, more efficient, and more profitable. If at any point you have any questions to ask during the webinar, up at the top of your screen, you will have a Q&A button. And if you click on that, we have Sam here on the side to support me, and he will hopefully be able to ask you any questions. We'll also give you time at the end to type in some questions as well. Okay, so what we're looking at, we're going to concentrate on two main staffing widgets. First of all, will help us to work out how to quickly check to see if staff currently clock in and have shifts on your rota, and how to fix problems with that area as well. We're going to look into that. How to easily see you are still working within your accepted budget. So the hours that are being worked, are being covered, are they less than what you budgeted for, more than what you budgeted, on target? So we're looking at that as well. Okay, let's jump into CoolCare itself. Of course, I went to press the wrong buttons. Let me just try and do this right. Here we go. Let's see, make sure I'm still logged in. Yes, I am. Okay, so the first widget we're going to have a look at is staff on shift. Now, staff on shift, you may already be using this, you may not. You may be using it, but it's not working properly for you. So it's there to hopefully work out if people are clocked in when they should be, or if people are clocked in when they shouldn't be, if people are using the clocking in and out system correctly. You can just leave this and ignore it, and it kind of, you end up with silly hours like I have here. But if you get control of it, it's going to help you. So let's talk about what it's trying to do. It's got three symbols it's used. The first one is the green tick. The green tick means that I have someone who's clocked in and they have a shift on the rota. Everything's happy, great days, everything seems okay. As it seems here with our friend Jane Daly, except she's been clocked in for 149 hours. So although, yes, she has a shift in the rota, and yes, she's clocked in, there's something wrong. We'll be coming back looking at this in a minute. Whereas we look here at Mary, she's great. She's clocked in, she has a shift on the rota. She clocked in, I know, at 7 this morning. She's been clocked in for 5 hours. When she clocks out, that will put her time into the timesheet. The X's. These are people who are currently clocked in, but do not have a shift on the rota. And the reason for that is this person here, Rhoda, she clocked in, God knows how long ago, and she's never clocked out. So this has been just rolling on and rolling on. I'm going to have to come back and sort this out, because even if I said to Rhoda, hey, listen, can you start clocking in and clocking out? It thinks she's clocked in at the moment. If she puts the reader against the fob against the reader tomorrow morning, it'll clock her out as she's coming in. So we'll deal with that. The last one are AWOL people. They're nice, easy ones. Simply, our friend Paul either hasn't come in today, or he came in and he forgot to clock out. But again, I'll have to come back and solve Paul's problem. Because if I go to Paul now and say, hey, you think you can clock in, if he runs over and clocks in now, it's going to clock him in now at 12 o'clock instead of 7. Or if he leaves to the end of the day when he puts the fob against the reader because it thinks he's out at the moment, it'll clock him in. So let's solve these problems. Let's look at our friend Jane here. So what I need to do is I need to get Jane so that she's clocked out, so if I can clock her in for this morning. Now, in the last 147 hours and 9 hours, I don't know when she was clocked in, when she was clocked out. I don't have to clock her in and clock her out for all of that time. I get her right for now. I want her right for now. For any of the mistakes in the past, I will fix that on the timesheet. I want her right for now. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to click here on Jane. I'm going to go to TA and I button settings. She's clocked in. I'm going to manually clock her out, hopefully when I think her last shift was. So let's say her last shift was 2 days ago. Go to 2 days ago, 19th, and I'm going to say she actually clocked out. I know she clocked out at 7, I checked, and I'm going to save that. Now that I've clocked her out, I'm now going to clock her in for this morning at 7. Now, all the widgets on the dashboard update pretty quickly, or very quickly, except for clocking in, clocking out. That takes a little while to catch up with itself. Now, it's more than likely the amount of talk now will not be enough time for it to catch up with itself, but let's go have a quick look. Oh, it has. Look there, well done. So see that Jane is now recording Jane as having clocked in this morning at 7. She's now done 5 hours. When she clocks out tonight, it'll be correct. Again, the shifts before that were all wrong, I'll fix those in the timesheet. Let's come down here to Rhoda. Now, Rhoda is currently clocked in. I have a word with Rhoda. I said, look, you've got to get this clocking in, clocking out stuff, right? She said, I will. Tomorrow morning when I come in, I'll do it correctly. Right, I need to get her out now. She hasn't got a shift on the rota. She's not here. I need to get her out so when she does it tomorrow, it's right. So I go to Rhoda. I go to my iButton settings. Again, I can look and see when she last clocked out. I don't really have to because I'm going to have to do so many changes to the timesheet anyway. I just need to get her out of the system. So I'm just going to say, yesterday, she clocked out at 7. There you go. Save that. Again, it's going to take a little while for Rhoda to disappear, I think, unless the system's working really quickly. Let's have a quick look. No, Rhoda Banks is still there, but we will see Rhoda disappear in a short while. Okay, there's another one we have here where we got someone who's clocked in. Everything seems okay, except it says 77 hours. Again, Kenton forgot to clock out, probably yesterday. So I can go to Kenton, go to TA, go to iButton settings. What we'll do with Kenton is I'll clock him out yesterday. There he goes. And then I'll clock him back in this morning. Now I have to do this because when I go and talk to these people, I say, look, you got to get this sorted. I've got to make sure this stuff is right so that when they start using the fobs start doing the right things. Hopefully Rhoda's gone. Yeah, Rhoda's disappeared. So because she's not in at the moment, she hasn't got a shift on the rota. So that's correct. I would have to get rid of these other X's as well. The last one I said is the simple one, is the people who are AWOL. Kenton is currently AWOL because remember I clocked him out and then clocked him in again. It hasn't clocked him in back. It'll just take a bit of time to clock him in again. Okay, so Paul forgot to clock in this morning. So I need to clock him in. So when he puts the fob against the reader tonight, it'll clock him out. Go. So he forgot to clock in this morning at 7, but I know he was here at 7. I've checked. And there we go. If I go back to my dashboard. Thank you. There's still AWOL, but that's just because the system hasn't caught up with itself yet. So if yours is in a mess like this, get it so it's right today. Any problems you have to do with people clocking in and not clocking out previously, fix that in the timesheet. Clock it out, clocking in feeds information to the timesheet, but it's the timesheet that feeds information into payroll. Okay. And if you get this right, you'll be able to easily keep an eye on who's in when they should be and who's in when they shouldn't be, or who hasn't clocked in at all. Okay, let's look at worked hours versus budget. Now, worked hours versus budget always looks at 2 days in the past. I'm just resetting my thing so I can keep my eye on my timer. Looks at what happened 2 days in the past to kind of give you an idea if you're keeping to what you budgeted to happen on your rota. So let's look at the information it's showing us and where it's getting that information from. So I've got this broken down to different departments: care, administration, domestic, so forth. Your system may be broken into different departments. Let's look at care here. It's saying that on the 19th, on Monday, I budgeted for 72 hours of care to be covered. Of that 72 hours that I budgeted for, only 60 were covered. That's saying that I missed 12 hours. I'm down by 12 hours. And to me, that is a 16.6% under what I wanted. Okay, so how does it work this out? How does it work these budgeted hours? Well, it works it out from the rota, but it mightn't work it out from the rota from where you think. Let's have a look at our live rota for a second. And let's look at the live rota for Monday. There we go. Oh, I've got to take those off. I was playing about this earlier today. I'm going to do something. You're going to ignore what I'm doing as if I haven't done it. This was never there. Okay, so I open it. I now see this for the first time. I can see here that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shifts there. Each of those 6 shifts are 12 hours. So that is why I've got 72 hours budgeted. That's easy. You can see here as well. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 72 hours budgeted, 72 hours budgeted. It's getting it off the rota. Well, it is, and it isn't. It's getting it off the rota, but it's not getting it off the live rota. And let me prove this to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend, see how I was practicing this earlier, I'm going to pretend that I needed to add 2 extra shifts to Monday. I needed extra people in. So what I did was, I went in here and added an extra day shift, another extra day shift. There we go. So now I've got 8 12-hour shifts, 72, 84, 96 hours. Let's go and look at our dashboard. Still says 72. For the 19th, it still says 72. So it's not getting it from the rota. It is. Watch this now. If I go to the rota setup, these are the standard shifts that I've set, the standard shift patterns that I've set. It's getting it off what my standard shift patterns are. It's not taking any account of any extra shifts that I manually, individually add to the live rota. So if we go back to the live rota again, you can see here for, let's go back to Monday again. You can see here for Tuesday, they are my standard shifts. So that's what it's looking at. That's where it's getting the hours from. Adding these extra ones makes no difference whatsoever. Okay. Let me just take Dolores off there for a second as well. Right. Okay. So we have, how many people have we got working now? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 people working. So they're each doing 12 hours. That's 60 hours. And if I go here to my dashboard, it says 60 here. But again, we know that this is not coming from the main rota. It's coming back. It's coming from really the rota setup for the shifts you've got set on there as your standard shifts. The hours. Where is it getting the hours from? Now, if you've noticed already, because I had to cover the practice I was doing earlier, but if I go back here to my rota and I say, actually on that Monday, there we go. Let's go back to Monday. On that Monday, Dolores actually worked this shift here. This will make up my missing hours. There she is. There's Dolores. I go back to my dashboard. Hasn't changed. Because I just put it on and said Dolores was working. Dolores, for whatever reason, didn't clock in or didn't clock out that day. Therefore, there's no record of her hours in the timesheet. It's in the timesheet where her hours are picked up. Let me show you what I mean. If I go to, 1 second. If I go to staff and I go to timesheet, and we go to Dolores, there it is for Monday. And I say, actually, she did work 12 hours. And I save that. Go back to my dashboard. Care, 72 hours budgeted, 72 hours were done. And the same as if, let's go back again. Let's go back to our rota. If I had said for some reason that, I'll go back to Monday. Go back to Monday. Maybe we had someone else working, maybe Mary Bellamy. So she worked, actually, maybe, let's see what we have. We have Sam. We'll use Sam. Let's use Sam. If I said she worked, that would not appear here on here unless I went to the timesheet and put in the hours that she worked. So I'll just flash by there. There you go. I think it was Sam I picked, wasn't it? We'll give her 10 hours. And if we jump back here to the dashboard, there you go, 82 hours. You can see there, you're 82 hours over, and it's in blue because you are over your variance, your budget, your budget tolerances. Okay, why do you mean over my budget tolerances, and why you mean blue? If you noticed earlier, it wasn't colored. It was just kind of there in white. But now it's gone to blue because I've gone over my 10%. My variance here is set to 10%. So to show you this, let's say what happens if I go below 10%. So below 10% of my 72 budgeted hours. So what we'll do is let's go back to our timesheet and let's pretend that our friend, she never actually came in. She was supposed to come in, but she never did any hours. And in fact, Dolores, although she came in, only did 6 hours. And so did our friend Heidi, although she came in, she only did 6 hours. Let's go and look at my dashboard now. Hopefully I've done this enough. There we go, 72 hours. You can see that says 60 minus 12. That's 16.6% in the red. That's why that's gone to red. It's below what my budget tolerance is. You can set your own budget tolerances. You can set how sensitive this is yourself. The way you do that is this. If I was to go to Care Home, Home Setup, Settings, I can set how sensitive this is. I can say, look, if there's 10% change, I don't care. Make it a 20% change. Remember, the moment our change is a 16% change. Let's go back to our dashboard. See, that's gone white. Although it's 72 and 60, still with minus 12 hours, but it's 16% change. It's not an over 20% change. If I went back to my timesheet, and let's go with, see, say Lauren only worked, this should do it, only worked 6 hours as well. I'm hoping this will push it over 20%. There you go. Yes, it has. It's 25%. So it's shown as red. If it was 25% over the 20%, it was 25% too much, it wouldn't appear in red, it would appear in blue. If we're inside our variance, whether that's, say, it's 10%, where we're over 9% over or 9% under, if a percentage is 10%, it won't change color. Above it goes blue, below it goes red. Oop. That's it. Make sure I talked for long enough on that. So yes, so there we go. That's the one for staff on shift versus rota. So if you get a handle on that, it is very good. And this one here, hopefully it's now explained to you finally where these numbers are coming from. I'm sure you've seen it, but weren't too sure what it was doing. And by the way, if after looking at this, you go, I haven't got this one widget here, and I don't have this widget here, you need to go to whoever sets up the users at your organization and ask them to give you those widgets. And they can give you those widgets, but don't forget, with widgets, you can always change the order of your own widgets, which I'll just show you quickly. The widgets basically go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down the page, but you can come in here. Let's say I want to change 1 and 4. I can come in here and I can go, the one that's in position 1, put it in position 4. The one's in position 4, put it in position 1. Don't forget when you do that to save. And when you go back to your dashboard, you will see that they've changed position. One last thing about that as well, it's very easy to get this wrong, but don't worry, it's there to help you. If I try and change them back, so 1 to 4 and 4 to 1. So I go, right, the one's in position 1, I want to put it in position 4. I then get distracted, forget to change the other one. If I've got 2 widgets with the same number, it'll always tell me. You got me put that back or it'll drive me crazy. Okay, just two, three screens to show you and we're finished. Let me just jump back to here, the bits I have to say. Yes, so CoolCare is believes in continuous professional development. whether you are in charge of financing and payroll, rota management, tracking residents and occupancy or inquiries, you can work with our product specialists online or in person. Contact the training team to check if you have existing available training or if you would like to purchase more. Email training@coolcare4.co.uk. Phone us on 0113 385 3853. Yep, and thank you for attending. We will stay online for another 10 minutes or so, we will continue to answer your questions for you. Okay, bye from me, visually for now anyway. All right, bye-bye. If I can do that.